He's one of the most prolific sports analysts and hosts in the world today, highest paid broadcaster on TV today. Ladies and gentlemen, bring to the stage, Stephen A. Smith. Look, you got it all, man. You're the whole package.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Like, I study people.
All right.
You know, I study people. I watch guys like you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what space you're in. I just learn. I just like, what can I do that he does to be better at what I do?
Be yourself. Be as true and authentic as you possibly can be. Make sure that when people look at you, they know you're the real deal. That you mean what you say and you say what you mean. That's where it starts. But I think for me, I've always viewed myself as somebody who doesn't have it all. Even when I get it, I'm not satisfied. There's constantly new challenges. As far as I'm concerned, if you're stagnant, you're dying. You know, you gotta be on the move, and you gotta be in constant pursuit of greater achievements. And it's not to say that you don't smell the roses. It's not to say that you don't appreciate what you've accomplished. But in the same breath, just think about whatever you do. If you're successful, chances are there are an abundance of people out there who want to be where you're at, who want to do what you're doing and want to achieve what you've already achieved. And in their mind, the objective is they got to knock you off. And so to me, your mentality has to be, bring it. I'll be ready. I'll be waiting for you.
That's a good t-shirt. That's a t-shirt
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to get knocked off this perch, whatever perch that may be.
So when did the confidence come? How old are you?
I'm 55.
Damn, I hope I look as good as you do when I'm
please.
your age.
Some people will question that with my receding hairline, but that's all right.
Yeah.
You know,
you look great. You look great, man.
I would tell you that, you know, my confidence comes from just the level of adversity, the trials and tribulations that I've had to endure in my life. And when you overcome challenges and you know that the road to prosperity wasn't easy, but was earned, then the confidence comes from that. It breeds from that. Because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth having. The fact that there was a struggle, that there were dire times, there were hardships and trials and tribulations and people counting me out and thinking that I was finished and I failed, you know, that inspired me. So that's where it came from.
When was that? When was that they thought?
Well, that's been the time, from the time I got left back in the fourth grade.
You're what? You're 10 years old?
Yes.
Okay.
I completed fourth grade, but I still had a first grade reading level. And I got left back again. And then I remember the whole neighborhood was laughing at me. I remember all of their names, Donald Miller, Marshall Lewis, you know, I mean, Mark McKnight, everybody. I remember their names. I remember the faces of every damn body that laughed at me. And I remember going on my back porch being humiliated at that young age. And I heard my father talking to my mother, and he said, just face it, the boy just ain't smart. And
you're overhearing this.
I'm on the back porch. And he's telling my mother this and trying to convince her to give up on me.
Oh my God.
And so, you know, when you go through something like that, at that age, and you find a way to lift yourself up and say, I'm gonna prove him wrong and anybody else who thinks that way about me, it's pretty easy to then turn around later on in life when you have adverse circumstances. And it's pretty easy to convince yourself you'll overcome that too.
So the chip on the shoulder, okay, it's a little bit immature.
Okay.
Right? You all right with that? Or you just using whatever?
I don't view it as immature. You gotta remember, I cover the world of sports. I'm friends with Michael Jordan. He had a chip on his shoulders. I'm friends with Allen Iverson. He had a chip on his shoulders. I was friends with Kobe, God rest his soul. He had a chip on his shoulder. Shaq has a chip on his shoulder. All the great people that I've known in my life, in business, in sports, and beyond, had some chip on their shoulder. Now, some people wear it on their sleeve a bit more than others. It's a bit conspicuous with some people than it is with others. And sometimes we've gotta, you know, just hone that in to not make it so obvious, because a lot of times when people are challenging us, they're challenging us to see what we've got in us, not because they want us to fail. They might want us to fail if they're competing against us. But other people who are not competing against you, they may not want you to fail. They may just want to see what you're made of. You're a boss. There are people that come work for you. You're gonna test them. You're gonna see what they're made of. You're gonna create adverse circumstances and situations because you wanna see what they've got inside themselves. You wanna find out what they're made of because you know real adversity is coming down the pike at some point. you got to know who your teammates are. You got to know who your personnel is. And so for me, when you have folks that are willing to test you, that's not a reason to be abrasive. It's not a reason to be cantankerous or anything like that. But what it is a reason to be, it's to stand up, stick out your chest, and say, let's get it on. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, give him a big hand for that. Come on, come on. Hey.